Well, I'll start and say my name's Linda, and I had my surgery the day after Thanksgiving last year. So I'm 11 months out. And why I did my surgery was like what he was talking to me about. Was I was on high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and both my parents had died at 65 from strokes and being obese and so on. And I realized that I was 9 years out from that day. And I knew I had a lot more life to live. And that was my motivation. You know, yeah, it's cool to be able to buy new clothes and stuff, but it's far more encouraging to say, I have more than 9 years left. And so that was my motivation. And like many of you, either insurance didn't pay for it or whatever. And so I started looking into this. And much to what some people said, I shouldn't do it, shouldn't go to Mexico, sort of like what Ron said. Oh my gosh, you're going to Tijuana, you know. And I, unfortunately, but it was way okay, I went by myself, okay. My husband, although he's here today, because of work, couldn't go with me. And I received unbelievable care. And like you said, they're not paying me to say this. I drove 2.5 hours here to be able to tell you it's worth it, okay? And so a couple of people have asked me questions. It is a life change. This is not some get skinny quick thing. It's just a tool. I went out for lunch before I got here. We went to Sizzler. Well, we all know what Sizzler's all about. It's that big old buffet and all you can eat and so on. I don't do the buffet anymore. I got their little steak, okay, and I didn't even finish it, okay. You will learn to when you get full, and you will be surprised. There have been some challenges for you. One of the things that if I could give you one thing of advice was you will stall. You see it all the time on the website. And how I look at stalls is that's the period our bodies are readjusting. Meaning, I have been at a stall for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks before, where my number never changed, but my size did. And that's what's key. So don't get discouraged, especially when you first get home. You're like, oh yeah, I had the surgery, I'm going to lose a lot of weight. You're going to have some days where you're like, I'm not eating anything, and why isn't it falling off? Well, it's your body adjusting. And your body on the first stage after you have your surgery is healing, because you will have had surgery. So then you're going to be on this clear liquid diet for a little bit, and then soft foods and so on. Some people get frustrated at that stage, especially if it's not coming off as quickly as they anticipate. That's your body healing. Once you can start eating regular food, it's 6 ounces of food, 3 ounces of protein, 2 ounces of something else, and 1 of fat. How's that? Okay, and it is that 2 ounces of something else. Okay, and you will be surprised. I've had to go back and started weighing my food again because I'm getting so unhungry, I guess is the best way to say it. And I'll say, oh, this is just enough. And that can cause a stall if your body is not getting what it needs. So take the tool, and it's just a lifestyle. Yes.
What'd you have done?
I had the sleeve done. Okay, and I've been really happy, very, very happy. I think one of my biggest challenges was the not eating and drinking at the same time. That is one thing that you can't do anymore. Okay, that is really, really hard for me because I am so used to having, whether it's a glass of water or whatever it is, when I eat. So I'm really conscious of, okay, it's been that 30 minutes, now I can drink. I don't know, some of you noticed I went back and got some water as soon as I got here because the time had lapsed from what I ate. So this is probably for many of you, all of you, one of the best things that you can do. And don't be afraid to go to Tijuana. They pick you up. You feel very safe when they pick you up at the airport. You go cross over to Tijuana. Everyone is very helpful at the hotel as they are at the hospital. It was the first time I ever had blood drawn and it didn't hurt. I was like, you could teach these U.S. nurses some things, okay? Okay. Honestly, I didn't even feel her do it. And everyone was just there. You will find how the nurses are very different from how the nurses are in the U.S., meaning they are very attentive there. The doctors are very attentive. My doctor came in every day I was in the hospital to see how I was. And it wasn't just a check in the block. Sometimes if you've had other surgeries, where the doctor just comes in and, oh, how you doing? He looks at the chart and says, you're doing fine, and moves on. No, they actually came and talked to me, sort of let me know what I needed to do. So it's very safe, very clean. Listen, if you can get into the Facebook site, follow what people are saying, because that's very encouraging. But I'm exceeding that 60 or 70%. I see your hand up. Oh.
Did you take probiotics before your surgery?
Yes, I did.
And did you experience any hair loss?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's sort of to be expected a little bit. I didn't go completely bald or anything like that. I just noticed that, and I have thin hair already. So all the hair that I see now, you'll have all that hair. If we all come back after your surgery, y'all will have hair, okay? It just gets thinner. And so I took biotin, and I started that way early, okay? It's almost as soon as I could swallow a pill, and that helped. Like I said, I'm 11 months out, and my hair is completely recovered now, okay? And it was just thinner, is all it got. I didn't go bald. Any other questions?
What surgeon did you use?
I used a surgeon that's not there anymore, and but I don't. It's just, I guess, some management things. The ones that are there now were there when I was there. Okay, I would go back and use any of the surgeons that are there now, because of the caliber of those surgeons and their expectations of those surgeons. I would see any of them. Okay. Any other questions? It doesn't matter how dumb it is, because I had a lot of dumb questions when I was like, well, are they going to do this? And are they going to do that? And the best way to calm your nerves is to sort of get on that Facebook and ask the questions. There are lots of people there. And, we'll answer the questions that you have. Okay, and tell it. And each person is a little bit different.
I noticed some of the people on the website needed gallbladder surgery after. Did you have your gallbladder out prior to?
I had my gallbladder out prior to.
So,
And that was due in part because I had yo-yo dieted so much. And it's hard on your liver, on your gallbladder when you do that yo-yo dieting, that lots of fat, no fat, lots of fat, no fat. So I had already had it out. beforehand. But I would trust them. I know that when I was there, one of the ladies had her gallbladder out during that time too. Any other questions? But I encourage everybody, it's the best thing I've done to know that I can go into retirement. Okay? And that I'm just not going to work and work and work and then die. My husband and I are going to retire in about 2 years. And I was fearful that I would not get to spend that time with him. So I encourage you it's a leap of faith. I know that. But to have faith, one, that it will work. Two, that it have faith that it is a safe, affordable place to go and have it done. And if you want any questions like them, I'll be in the back and you can ask me questions too.